a Week 8 marquee, obviously Sunday nighter with Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers going at it on Sunday Night Football, and Dallas and Denver coming off of some rousing victories and taking on each other. But one that, for me, I think is rubber really meeting the road is the Ravens coming off of a bye at 1-5, taking on a Bears team that's won 4 in a row. I'll give you the floor right here. Lamar wasn't seen on Monday when the team comes out for their first practice. Roquan Smith was out there. What are you hearing about Lamar and the Ravens at 1-5, Albert?
I think Lamar's close. Now, again, they're going to be careful with him, and this is the way they've always operated with Lamar. Like, they've always been very careful, and because he plays the quarterback position in a different way than almost anybody in modern history has, with the way that they involve him in the run game. And, that's something that if you talk to quarterbacks, if you wind up playing in the playoffs and you're beat up, like a runner would be beat up, it can affect your mechanics. So there's a million reasons why they're really, really careful with him. I'd say on the flip side of that, right? Like, and I'm just establishing how careful they're going to be with him. On the flip side of that, this is like now a pretty significant hole they're in. And they're 1-5 now, and it's time to start digging out of that hole. And, you looked at the inactive list a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was Mike Garafolo who had the stat. It was something like 20 Pro Bowl selections between the 8 guys who were on the inactive list. They need to get going, and their season, they're close to being at the point where their season is going to be on the line on a week-to-week basis. And this is a team, and I can just tell you this, Rich, going into the year, they felt like this is the most talented roster that they had in a long time, and that this was a team that had a shot to compete for a championship. So there's a massive level of disappointment in how all of this has played out. And, I think Roquan coming out and saying, like, more or less, like, I'm going to be out there on Sunday, like putting a stake in the ground, I think is setting the tone for everybody. Like, it may not be must win, but they're damn close to it right now. And so it's going to need to be all hands on deck. You balance that against being careful with Lamar. It'll be interesting to see the way the next few days play out.
And then your thoughts going, I always love getting your perspective, Albert, the Sunday nighter. Rodgers trying to get in that rarefied air of beating all 32 franchises, taking on the Green Bay Packers for what probably will be the last time, unless they see each other in the Super Bowl. You never know.
Yeah.
What are you thinking here with Micah coming off a 3-sack performance in Arizona? This is going to be so much fun on Sunday night coming up.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable because the way we've been talking about the Packers, because they've been sort of schizophrenic early in the year, right? Like, you had the sugar high of the Micah Parsons trade, and then you have the 2-0 start, and then they level off, and that inexplicable loss in Cleveland, and then the weird tie with the Cowboys, and now they're back on track. It's hard to believe they're the number 1 seed in the NFC right now. So they're sort of where we thought they would be. This is a huge game for the Packers, obviously, because every game is big when you're in that sort of position. I'm really excited to see what this looks like with Aaron Rodgers, because just talking to people in Pittsburgh and the people who are around him, over the last couple of games, if you watch Aaron play, you're starting to see the way that he's moving and the way he's making throws across his body. And when you start to see those things where it looks like he's playing loose and free, they really feel like that's indicative of his comfort level now in Arthur Smith's offense, and that already he's starting to take ownership of it, and that he can toggle between playing within the scheme and then being the playmaker that he's always been. And I don't know that he ever got to that point with the Jets, but they really feel like he's getting there for the first time since he was a Packer with the Steelers. And obviously, I think we all know, anybody who's been around Aaron, he's going to say the right things, I'm sure, this week. But we all know he's got a hair across his you-know-what, going one. And there might be some glares up into the suite level there at Acrisure Stadium after this throw or that throw that he makes. I think he still has some bones to pick with some people in the front office there. So it'll be fun to watch. And I do think, like, the interesting thing about the Steelers is not just Aaron. I think other pieces of that operation are coming along as well. Like, that young offensive line really struggled early on, but they had high hopes for that group. That group's starting to come together. DK Metcalf, I think, has been as good as you could possibly have hoped for. And now do the pieces around him start to come together? Your Jonnu Smiths, your Fryer Moose, your Roman Wilsons, your Calvin Austins, like, all that's starting to come together. So it should be strength on strength based on how the Steelers offense is starting to play and where the Packers defense is.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.